Well, hello and good evening, everybody. Lucas here of Lucas G Variety, and I'm back with my friends to play Panda Blades Actual Play. And this is going to be our session number 6. And episode currently titled Battle for the Banner. There we go. I had to summon it, even though I already knew it. Today is Thursday, June 10th, 2021. Welcome back, gentlemen. Nice to see you all again.
Nice to be here.
Yeah. We should be joined by our quartermaster soon. We're just waiting to see what happens, but war waits for nobody, so on we go. So Band of Blades is a dark military fantasy game, if you've not watched before. It's based off the Forge in the Dark rule system, which comes originally from Blades in the Dark by John Harper. So we got... Oh, I forgot to bring my actual hardcover book downstairs with me. But John LaBeouf Little and Stras Asimovich are the authors of The Band of Blades. Thank you so much for making this wonderful game. This is a dark military fantasy. The Legion, a mercenary company, many others, and all the eastern countries form together to fight back against the Cinder King and an army of undead as they storm their way across Aldermark just 3 years ago. And after they band together, they drove the Cinder King for that long time back to the left, to the west, across the river, which has a name, but I can't see it now because all the fire's covering up, all the Tigeria, all the way over to Ettenmark Fields, way to the west. But there, the Cinder King just ripped apart the forces of good. So the forces of good, not only did they have the Legion, but they had all these other companies, all these other countries, and they had 9 chosen. These are the avatars of the gods. There's never been 9 chosen at once. So these 9 powerful individuals also fought with them. But the Cinder King, being as powerful as he is, broke 5 of them. And in the breaking, it turned them undead and onto his side under his control. 5 of them broke. Only 4 chosen remain. 1 chosen remains with what is left of the Legion, who we play here. Legion, their specific unit called the Immortals. Shreya is her name, and she is powerful and she is fierce. And so, in a desperate attempt to save humanity before winter hits, we follow the Legion as they travel back east using guerrilla warfare to hinder the Cinder King while trying to survive themselves. If they're destroyed, if they lose too many people, or if winter comes before they make it to Skydagger Keep, which is kind of like the Minas Tirith, the last standing point for humanity, they lose the campaign. But if they make it there before winter intact, they can do a last effort stand to hold them off for the winter, to give the eastern armies at least 1 full winter to form a new army to fight back. And that's what we'll find out by the end of the campaign. So, we've played 5 sessions, at least 3 missions, I think, in there. We are back now, and we are in the mission planning phase where we plan what missions we're going to do, and we send them on out. So, I'm going to turn it over to our commander/lore keeper. I should really do the overlay for both, but we'll work on it later. And to get a little recap of what happened last time, and and we'll go from there.
Last time on Band of Blades Immortals, we started off having small arguments between Yax and Binding Blue Comb. The group tried to convince Yax to come with them. Yax being, I wrote Yax, his name is Yax. It's G, there's a G now. They are in front of his name now, but I'm going to read it the way I wrote it because that's what the book says. When Rakasha spoke about his lore, Yax threw a dagger, and due to the importance of the lore versus his life, Rakasha, the medic, took the dagger to the chest to protect it, and then he went down. Then Adorna tried to convince him by what sounded like swearing to Yax instead of the Legion to bring him to the Legion, ? It's a very confusing conversation. Then Beleg laid into him physically and verbally regarding him being a selfish fool. Didn't work fully. Then Binding Blue Comb threw a net over the 2 of them. The both heavies, while laughing inside the net, finally agreed to give us a chance and at least come to the camp for healing, which later turned into him staying, thankfully. This counted as primary mission complete. Out of character moment. I don't know why I wrote it like this. I literally wrote the word out of character moment. The players worked out their advancement XP, and we moved on to the resolution of the secondary mission, knowing the 3rd mission would fail automatically. The secondary mission was a successful, with a reward of 3 supply, but a problem caused 1 supply to go missing on its way to camp. However, when we came back, the camp at large was staring at a bizarre and new cloud that had formed near our original target's location, coming towards a camp that suddenly veered off towards the west. Back in character. sort of. The quartermaster issued some alcohol to raise the weary spirits and recruited some laborers to help the Legion. The spy master worked on helping the quartermaster and working on getting better expanded networks running. Due to the success of the commander, Due to the successes, the commander decided to not yet leave Planesworks to give them one more opportunity to gather supplies before moving forward. Let's see what else. If the troops weren't injured, in character, this was said by, I believe, the marshal. If the troops are not injured or mildly injured, please send them to the infirmary. The remaining troops should go straight to the quartermaster with the supplies from our other missions. Then there was a scene with the Chosen threatening the four who had gained some corruption during their mission on time away. We ended with 3 missions, one with a +1 specialist. Mission 1 was the special supply, where we get 2 morale and the relic Centauri Banner. If we succeed, no penalty. If we fail, Mission 2 was supply, rescue supplies, was what it's called. It was +3 supply, but it had no penalty, so we chose this one to auto-fail, because there was a third mission that was scrounge/trade that was rewards asset and +2 supply, penalty -1 morale if we failed it. So we've chosen to take that one as the one the NPCs take. And I believe the marshal is getting ready to let us know who's going on the primary mission.
Yes, absolutely. On the primary mission, it's very important that we complete this because there's, I believe it's called the Centauri Banner, an old relic of the Immortals, and it would really raise the spirits, shall we say, of our comrades. With that in mind, we're pulling out all the stops. We're throwing the kitchen sink at this mission. We're sending our new heavy friend, Gyox. I'll pronounce the G's. You can keep them silent, Soundwaves. I'm just giving you a hard time. A medic, Rakash, is being sent on the mission to try and keep people safe and alive. And also our scout, Black Standing Storm, is going to accompany the Shattered Lions, the oldest serving, the original members of our Immortals.
Excellent. The Centauri Banner is actually the original banner of the Legion when it was first formed under the Emperor way back in the day. It sprouts the same sigil as you see in the bottom corners of our overlay, done by Dom, actually, which is the raven or crow with the infinity sign in the green circle with black outline. At least that's what they'll find. Oops, spoilers. That's what the rumor is. So there's many different sects of the Legion, and we've only referred to a couple. Actually, I meant to ask Dan who the new commander is going to be from, but maybe you already know. But we had the Golden Bears, I think we've referred to. We referred to the Immortals, which is ours. And there's other bits and pieces of the Legion as a whole. But like everything else, the Legion was broken by the Cinder King, and this is the remnant that we follow. So, Mission 1, the primary, is called Screaming Citadel. Gotta name them, because they have to be named. Mission 2 is Flying Wolf. That's the one that you're going to fail. And Mission 3 is Western Mountain. So let's talk about who is playing who for Mission 1, Screaming Citadel. Now, if and when Mike shows up, I assume he's going to play Black Standing Storm. I feel like that's who he's going to play. I would vote that that's what he jumps into taking. But if we need, I'm actually not sure how to use a specialist if no one takes a specialist on a mission. I'm not sure if I've seen that before. So I guess we'll just find out how that goes. Maybe someone will open up and play the character if we need to, because the scout's probably important. But anyways, Marshall, who's going to be playing who at this time?
Yes, absolutely. First and foremost, the real star of the show here is going to be played by Mr. Jeff, and that being Spud. Russet Growing Spud, the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend. He is a rookie, but he's almost done being a rookie after his roaring success in the last mission, I believe, right?
Let me actually look here.
Details. Minor.
Details.
Yeah, you don't need to know it. Playing our obsessive medic, who has a bit of a bookworm, shall we say, will be Soundwaves. And I will be playing Gyax Hawklightovich, our newest member of the Legion, and our new, our unscathed heavy, shall we say.
Excellent.
If Joe ends up showing up, yeah, I agree with you. Black Standing Storm, it's kind of his character. He plays her really well.
Yep. All right. And that would be, yeah, Mike would play, I don't know if Black Standing Storm is female or male.
I think she's female.
Okay.
The picture's definitely female, by the way. At least.
Oh, well, I guess I never looked at the picture. But that would make sense. Okay. Yes. Remember, Black Standing Storm took out awful punishment on the bridge mission, but she's back and ready to go now. Oh, I just lost my train of thought. Happens when I'm trying to remember all the bits and pieces of this, especially after several months of not playing since January. I believe they're right in January. So thank you for being patient with us here. So we got them lined up, and then let's quickly and we're going to come back to it for your secondary mission. What specialists and squad will we be sending out there, just for the record?
Yeah, absolutely. On our secondary mission, we're sending our beloved officer, Joster, the Toe. And he will be leading the Ghost Owls, some of our most, shall we say, specialized members of the Immortals.
Alrighty. So I'll go over the missions just a little bit, and then we'll get into the action of asking the questions, and then if Commander's going to ask his intel as well on top of that. All I have to say is when you play Yax, every time you introduce yourself, you got to say hail. That's the only characteristic that I think is important here. Loud and booming. All right. But you're playing them, not me. Shut up, Lucas. All right. So all 3 missions were supply missions. That's how the intel was spent and how they rolled up. So, Screaming Sentinel, rescue supplies. Yes, that's the specialty mission. And we're going to come back to that in just a second. Mission 2, because the reason why, when there's 3 missions, you don't get to go on it is because you got to have enough Legionnaires and specialists back at camp to guard it, or you run the risk of getting overrun by some random undead. So that's how we say it. We keep enough people at home. So, Western Mountain, which is the secondary mission that we're going on. That was called Scrounge and Trade. So actually, not everyone in the world is a bandit. Now we have bandit problems. You actually had bandits steal your supply last time, and the last mission that you failed also was them taking that supply. But not everyone is a bandit. Not every mercenary company is the Legion. The merc company known as the Burden of the Spider, or the Spiders for short, has come across a surplus of supply they are trying to unload before hiking further east. They're looking to trade on a first-come, first-served basis. But there's another merc group called the Hollowsmiths, who have also shown interest. So, you're sending Joster the Toe, who of course must be a negotiator in his own right, with the Ghost Owls, to go, you know what, we got to get there first. The Legion needs that more than the Hollowsmiths. And we'll come back after the primary and find out exactly how that mission went. Now, mission 2, the Flying Wolf, the one we fail here, there is no penalty, except that I'm going to say that the bandits are growing stronger. So basically, bandits are running rampant. They are taking all kinds of stuff. Word has been had that the Golden Bears, a destroyed faction of the Legion, had a hidden cache of supplies in a small town northeast of Plainsworth. Word has gotten around that it's guaranteed bandits will get it if the Legion does not. So, the bandits are becoming a problem. The undead are a big problem, but from this, at least, as far as the fiction flows, you're seeing bandits everywhere, right?
Okay.
Sooner or later, it's going to come to a head. There's the dark, ominous cloud. There's actually rumors that there's a really powerful bandit force out there, led by something that's maybe not quite human. It's just rumors on the wind. You're not sure. So, I put all that out there, and now we come back to decide on the primary mission. But we do have a free play scene that I want to do first. So that gives you guys time to ask your questions afterwards. So the next day is going to be the day when the missions are told, the groups are picked, and they'll be sent out that afternoon or whatever to get going, right? So this is going to be, I'm thinking, the same, like the night after the revelry. There's the big drinking and all the camaraderie. Yax was drinking with, oops, what's our other heavy's name? Jodo's character. Belig Zukovic, right?
Yep.
They put away their differences. They start drinking together, and they're becoming chums. But Belig still needs to heal, so he's gonna be sitting this one out. So the whole next day, camp's kind of hungover. It was a huge celebration, I think. If that makes sense. Is that fair, I think, to say?
Yeah.
Wait. Alcohol was given at some point.
Commander.
Yes.
Commander, what? Iron Grip? Let me get his full name. Helgerich. Commander Helgerich. Let me put that on the screen here. This is our current commander. So the next day, you got the usual 2 guards in his tent, but at some point in the mid-morning, Shreya has come out of the woods, and it doesn't matter what time of day it is. She's just glowing with the radiance of the moon. It's just a weird, it's maybe attractive, maybe it's scary, maybe it's just awe-inspiring. You just don't know what to make of it. And she's, almost 7 feet tall, with full plate armor and like a samurai helmet, almost like a shredder helmet, but without the face mask. And she's got a pole arm that's taller than her. And she approaches the commander's tent and just waves the guards aside, and they get right out of her way. And she just sticks her pole arm in the ground. It's the spear is up. She just sticks the butt in the ground, and it somehow stands up on its own, as always. And she enters the commander's tent. And it's not long after that you hear some fierce arguing. Like Helgerich is like, I'll be damned if I'm going to be doing that. For the Legion and all of humanity, I would suggest that you change your mind. You will not get me to do that. I am needed here. Perhaps we should speak in a lower tone. And people that get too close find that there's an aura of menace around the tent. It makes you feel real primal, real fearsome, real weird. So people start staying away from the tent. If any of you guys and any of your characters go near, you quickly turned away, either by the aura or by the commander just yelling at you when you get too close. I mean, if anybody wants to try, they can. But it goes on for hours. And the radiance of the moonlight, even during the middle of the day, it becomes bright enough that the tent begins glowing. Like midday, it's glowing almost as bright as the sun. And it's so bright that people can't even look at it. And so it almost seems to block the sound coming out of it. And it goes on for a long time. And eventually, near evening, the radiance fades, and Shreya walks away from the tent. But the tent looks like Swiss cheese. Like all the walls have holes of her, like she's been walking back and forth and just passing through material, and it just disintegrates upon her touch. Lots of his furniture is destroyed. It doesn't even look like it was a fight. It just looks like it happened. And so the commander's tent is just Swiss cheese, like I said. So he just comes out. He's sulking. He looks pissed. He doesn't want to talk to anybody. And they start rebuilding and remaking his tent, putting up a new tent, right? And I'd say he won't speak to anybody. Even if you try, he turns you away. So for this scene, I like the Spy Master to play the Spy Master and the Marshal to play the Marshal. Lord Keeper to play the Lord Keeper, and the new person that we'll introduce mysteriously, and I will play Shreya and Commander Helgerich. And if Mike jumps in, he will be the Quartermaster. So, I don't know if you guys try to do anything, but our scene will start at about 2 a.m. that following morning. Good? 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 Okay. So, actually, let's go back to the screen right here. It's like 1:55 a.m. if you're going to keep exact time, right? And some of you might not. But you're all awoken in your tent by a messenger saying, Commander's tent, 5 minutes, and they're off.
I'll yell back at the messenger. What are you doing waking me up at 1:55 a.m.?
And just leaving, it says the same thing. Commander's tent.
You're not scheduled to wake me up until 2:30 a.m.
They're just like, Commander's tent, It's gone. Who arrives first?
Rashi is always punctual.
Upon entering the tent, as you come to the tent, you find that radiant glow of Shreya is back. There are no guards on duty. The radiance is lower, and that aura of menace is gone. It's very calm. It's very serene at this point. Pushing aside the tent flap, you see her kind of late in the room. Commander Helgerich tapping a map with his finger. And I assume you're a marshal, you're a soldier. You got sharp eyes. Back in the back of the room, I keep picturing the Strider from Fellowship of the Ring, the first time we see him smoking a pipe under a hood in the bar at the Dancing Pony. But I don't know if this character smokes tobacco.
No, it's too dandy.
Okay. Okay. Spoilers. Okay. It's okay. But there's a hooded figure or so in the dark of the back of the tent.
Very nice hood.
Very nice. Very regal.
Nice
very nice ornate hood. And Marshal, you come in and both Shreya and the commander look up at you.
I'll give like a deep bow to Shreya and the commander, and I'll look up and I'll say, Shreya, your beauty makes the moon envious. Why have you summoned us so early?
She doesn't smirk. She just looks at you. She goes, the commander has some news that the staff must hear. And
Lord Keeper Colors comes busting through the tent flaps, scrolls kind of falling out, and she stops. Sorry. And she gets into her corner and she starts scribbling. Meeting at 1:50 something in the morning on the night of and she's muttering to herself like she always does, that she's literally writing everything that's going on, as is the Lord Keeper's way.
all right. Are you next,
The
Biomass?
Viscount. Okay. The Viscount Vex is fashionably late as he's reading a message handed to him by his mice in the field, as he puts it. Folds it up, tucks it away in his sleeve, and then comes into the tent, looks around, sees Shreya, and walks up and lightly bows. Shreya, always a pleasure to see you, as always.
And she just looks at you, which is kind of her normal. You know, if she's not murdering you with her sight, then that means that she's probably, okay to see you. Just kind of maybe you give a slight head bow. The message you just got has some disturbing rumors about a faction to the east, and you're just like, what is that about? You just have these little bits of information that have not all been pieced together yet, right? And then the quartermaster's even later. He's like, I had to find more guards for my tent before I came in, because I'll be damned if I let anyone sneak in the back again. Oh, sorry. Wow, everyone's here. Okay. Bows, commander, and he takes his seat. Mike, I'm doing it the best I can. Sorry. And then to go. So Shreya's like, thank you for coming. I will let the commander speak now. And Helgerich is just like, well, never thought I would ever do this from my young days all the way up till now, but I have to tell you all, tonight, after I give you my last order, I'm stepping down as the commander of the Legion. Just looks around at you guys.
I'll feign a look of surprise after the 3 hours of whatever we endured before. By the gods! I mean, I look at Shreya. Anyways, what happened? Surely you're needed somewhere else.
That's exactly right. I'm afraid I can't tell you much about it. But, in short, this very morning, in the next few minutes, Shreya and I will ride out east together, where we'll meet up with some scouts. I will continue on with them, and I will send her back promptly to you. There's a group of individuals from my past that may prove to be an invaluable asset. A Skydagger. And the thing is, they will speak to me and only me. So unfortunately, I have to play the long game here. And as much as I know I'm needed here, I think I will do us more good by meeting you at Skydagger with hopefully someone or someones that will help us get through the winter. So I've found someone to replace me, but only...
Mashi begins standing up.
What's that?
I begin standing up.
Sit down.
Well, excuse me.
If you want to take a crack at Commander, you can maybe have your time. And that's something we're going to talk about. But I told Shreya, after he looks at her, many hours of debate that you no doubt heard today. My one condition is it must be a unanimous vote from the the four of you. I will let this person come forward and speak. They are familiar. They are of the Legion. And in the end, you can decide. Or you can decide amongst yourselves who it shall be, but I will be stepping down and leaving. And he goes, Vex, it would do me honor that, well, you talked to Shreya about it, but you let her know which direction the Legion decides to travel in after you leave Plainsworth. It'll be a couple weeks before she gets back to you.
I shall send an emissary.
So he's, at this point when he's been talking, he's been pouring out nice glasses of whiskey, some real good stuff, like the Commander stuff. And that's for everybody. Shreya just like shakes her head. But he pours out 6 glasses. The 5 of you, and the one person, he's like, I'm going to let them speak now. He takes his glass and he hands a glass to the person who's now standing up, I think. You tell me, Soundwaves, how this goes.
Yes. He does the whole, like, you stepped out of your robe thing that some characters do as they dramatically, like, stand real quick. But he doesn't really stand quick. He does it with some aplomb as he just kind of takes the glass. And he stands and he holds the glass up. And I salute you, the Immortals. Greet you as the last of the... What did I call them? I had it written here and I blanked out. The last of the Onyx Rhinos salutes you for surviving so far.
Onyx Rhinos. Oh, great. Love it. Love it.
I was forced to pull my entire legion out by their hair because they were unrelenting in battle, and unfortunately I was given nothing but rookies. My command staff consisted of people that were less years old than my boots were cured before they had their pristine shine they do today. If you will allow me, I will make sure that every one of you walks across what we would like to call the finish line. Because in my command, I am unstoppable. Other things may stop, but we will not. People may break and they will bleed, but they will not stop until they accomplish the mission and become in the annals of the great book. My book was lost. And I'm needed to be in a new one so that way I can keep being unstoppable. And he leans back a little bit, just shakes his head. No, I actually clicked prideful because I didn't realize it was going to make this guy so prideful. Yeah. I see that you have already accomplished many things. I know that you're sending your men out soon for a very important mission for all of the Legion, not just for your company, but the one that started it all. And I'll be waiting regardless of your decision for its return. He knocks back the drink and he sits it down.
Do the same, and I'll lay my glass down. I'll look up. Tell me, what did you say your name was?
Valentina. I will burden you with my last name. It is hard for me to say.
Valentina, with all due respect, you've obviously earned the trust of Shreya. But for you to come in and speak of our accomplishments and then the shortcomings of those who previously served you, how can I reconcile that? You wish to speak ill of those you've led before?
Ill? I assure you not. My rhinos were unstoppable.
You
The
called them
rhinos
rookies.
did not stop. They bled so you could actually flee. My legion stood on the other side of that bridge you blew. And they held it. They saved those civilians that were across at the cost of their lives. Not a single one of them was returned as the enemy, because we devised a trick for that long before the fight started. We did lose some, unfortunately, because they panicked and ran, but I told them when they started, the rhino does not falter. And they faltered, so they were no longer the rhinos.
I believe that is a touche verbally, Marshal.
You might believe that. But a civilian once fallen. Wait, no, I messed that up. The soldier once fallen carries no sword, and a living civilian carries no sword as well. You would trade soldiers for lives that don't fight this fight that we're in. We are not expendable here. I turned Irish, damn it.
Yeah,
we are not.
You do it in that step too. Oh, sorry.
We are not expendable here. We haven't lost but a single man.
That's good. That is excellent. That shows how good you and your commander work together.
Simple flattery will not
didn't-
work on me.
It's not simple flattery, friend, or foe, if you wish. No. Adversarial acquaintance. Yes.
It is. It is not flattery. Well, why did we follow a commander who previously has failed?
I did not fail. I stood at the feet of the fallen and I walked away. When the Legion sounded retreat, my men turned around and retreated. Bloodied, broken, some dragging their limbs, some dragging their friend's head behind them, but none of them stopped. I had one mission: not stop. And I have yet to stop. The Onyx Rhinos were given one choice: forward or back, but never stop. And we did that until the last of us fell. I am the last.
Do you think there's skill in commanding a suicide mission?
There's skill in surviving. How many?
There's skill in leading others to survive. Getting out on your own skin, we are to listen to your own words. How am I to know that you did not simply leave the others behind to save your own skin? As so many commanders do. Such men are weeded out of these immortals. You must know.
I will hope so. You have to survive. You are the last of the Legion. I was the first one in. I stood at the side of the Chosen. And I'm proud to see that we've got the most brutal one on our side here. He nods his head a little bit to Shreya.
I'll look at the others. I've spoken my share.
Shreya actually nods to the commander, which she hasn't nodded before. Quartermaster's like, as long as you don't take all the supplies and we can keep moving. Okay. I don't know.
It's hard to tell.
So Vex and Lorekeeper.
Vex has been just looking at the glass of whiskey. He normally doesn't drink. Everyone knows this. But he does occasionally do toasts. That's the most he'll do. Other than that, he'll drink water. But he'll look at this new prospect of a commander, eye him up and down. You had the will to have your men follow their duty even unto death.
Death? No.
That is true. You let men doomed to die.
I led men that were doomed to live to see their duty fulfilled. He'll smile. He'll, you, how do I say this properly? The Onyx Rhinos were an arrow. We opened the doors. And those of us that walked back out the doors were carrying something just as precious. We carried hope across a river. And at the end, we saved 3 lives. Only 3. But we took down countless of the enemy. The youngest of my troop was only a 12-year-old boy. He stuffed his boots to make him look taller. It was pretty obvious once he had his calluses for the 3rd day in a row. He was the last one to fall because he couldn't swim. And yet he dragged me into the water. So that way they wouldn't catch me. Those horsed assholes that betrayed us all. Bad word, sorry. He smothers down the like half cloak thing. He's like he imaginary lint on it. It's his nervous habit.
A leader must know when to accept that he cannot save all. You've already accepted that. You are commander to me.
Rashi will definitely hold out to see as the others vote.
Quartermaster nods again. Helgerich, who I guess is 1 vote, also nods and drinks his drink.
The Lord Keeper looks up and says she's writing. I mean, honestly, if a patron likes him, there's nothing written that says we can't just, we even have a vote normally. So I'm just going to go with the book that says I don't have a vote. And she's young. She's a very young person. So she's kind of like nervously, just ignore me.
Well, Helgerith looks at Marshall and is like, well, I understand your hesitation, but it's time.
I will vote as my comrades have. Seems as though we have a new commander.
Once we shake, it's a done deal. He looks.
No. Once we drink, it's a done deal.
He starts pouring the glasses full again of those that have been emptied. And he's like, my last order as commander, because what I do is dependent upon it, is that all of you get the Legion, those that follow, to Skydagger Keep. You do it. You do not fail. And he pulls up, and he brings up his glass. To the Immortals, never dying. I think that's the scene.
I want to do something.
Oh, okay. All right. Like a
I want to stab someone real quick.
Once everybody kind of clears out,
Okay.
everybody who seems like they'll clear out. I don't know if both commanders are going to stick around.
Yeah,
or Shreya does.
Sure.
But once everybody kind of stands up to leave, I'll make sure I'm the last one at the very end. I'll turn back around. I'll walk up to our new commander, and I'll look him like dead in the eyes for an uncomfortably long amount of time, and I'll look at him. I'm just pulling this out of my butt, but I'll
You're
look
good.
at him. I'll say, 98.
Mhm.
There are 98 men in our legion. I would die for any of them. I'll be watching you to see if you'll do the same.
That's your job. I would expect you to do that, even if you liked me. Marshal, I didn't have a marshal for my squad. I was having to do all jobs. I am proud to serve with one that's been recognized by a commander and a chosen to do that job.
Again, your flattery will not work on me.
He'll fist bump your shoulder. Prove it flattery or prove it truth. That's up to you.
My eyes.
You tell others these things.
Spy Master likes to think they see all. No, it is my eyes. Always open, always watching. So I'll turn her back and I'll begin walking away. If you have any parting words, of course.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Marshal, make a priority to make that number much greater than 98.
I'll turn back. I'll just like look at him. I'll give him like the kind of I'm watching you look. I'll step out.
Smiles. And he turns back to the table. They're looking at the maps, making his little half cape flourish as he does. I've now decided he's quite dandy, like his just appearance and dress. Flamboyancies. Let's see. Exit stage 10 flip. The lore keeper literally looks up and goes, "Oh, everybody's gone."
Everybody but the new commander.
She'll start sliding backwards out. I don't have to write down the private conversations, it says.
So, I decided to handle this change with the players as the scene ends here. I don't even know what this faction is. I just made it up. So, we'll just see if they make it to Skydagger at the end. We'll just see. That'd be great if maybe Jodo comes back for the finale and we all play. We have a good time, just, going crazy. So, we'll see what this faction is and what they can do, right?
Excited either way.
Mm-hmm. There we go. All right, Marshal, Commander, Spy Master, it's time to get to the questions and the engagement roll.
The engagement stuff.
Yep, which I don't know where all my pages are, so if someone comes across where they should be.
You got a handout inside roll 20, fool.
Oh, do I? It's been so long since I looked at my handouts. I just look at the characters.
Right. So we assign the load, we add players take up their characters, reset their armor, specialist skill uses, and then choose their new load.
Yes, that's right. We do got to get load decided. So this is this is where you can get, if you want to get your intel questions in, that might be helpful in deciding that. And see, mission campaigns face sheet. Okay, I don't need that one right now, but the intel questions we're going to get to here. I'm not sure how many intel do you have, sir?
I've got a total of 2 according to my notes from last time.
Okay, so that means you get 3 questions. You have a 0 or more, a 1 or more, and a 2 or more questions. That's actually some really good intel to go on. Now, you can put them on the secondary, but usually it's mostly helpful on the primary because that's what we're playing out. I will let the new commander, of course, decide how he wants to approach that, but then we'll pick load. We'll ask the questions for the engagement, which the marshal will roll, and that'll give us our starting position in the action as we jump straight into the action.
But technically it says you ask the questions before you choose which missions to prioritize. You ask a number of indo questions.
Oh.
I think now is when I just get to choose to spend a point to add an engagement die. I think here.
I guess you'd want to decide that before you get to ask all the questions.
Yeah, because step 1 was present the missions available to the Legion. Then you may ask the GM based on the current intel. You may spend intel to replace the mission, which he already did. Then pick a primary mission, which you already got. Assign the squads. We're at step 5. We've already passed the intel phase.
You on that handout?
Yeah.
All right, I'll just...
So we're at the everyone take up their characters, reset their armor, skill uses, etc. Then Quartermaster may add +1 dice to engagement rolls by spending resources, and then the commander can spend an intel to add 1 dice. And then the marshal does the assembly of the dice.
So we assign the squad for step 5, right? Players take up their characters, reset armor, special skill uses, and choose new load. All right, I guess you guys can do that now. But I'm okay you asking your intel questions. Well, Quartermaster may add 1 to the engagement roll by spending a resource based on the mission type. That would be a food? Do you guys feel that Mike would spend a food to make sure your engagement goes better?
We're at food 4 out of 10.
Yes, he's used 6 food so far. You have 4 left.
I think after having it's stolen, I don't think he actually would. Of course, you
Neither, because that's kind of our priority, is to hold on to as much supply as possible.
Yeah.
So I would agree he would probably not. If he did, he would be constantly going, I don't know.
All right, so our vote is kind of that he's not going to spend food.
But the commander will spend the intel to get the extra +1 die.
Okay, so you're going to go down to 2 intel, and you're going to be able to ask, or down to 1 intel, and you're going to be able to ask 2 questions, right?
For next time, yeah.
All right. Well, you still get to ask some intel about the mission now, because we don't think you ever did. So I'm going to allow it.
Let me look at the questions I can ask for 1.
Spend 1 for engagement roll if you'd like to boost. Most that.
I'm going to not, just to save it for the next set of missions, because if we go to either way we go, we need an intel for that.
Are you talking about for the secondary?
No, for the next set of missions, because
Oh.
we won't get another intel off of the reward for these missions.
I'd still let you. Well, you never asked him for these, so I feel like you're due that. Plus, you're still going to be able to ask him next time. I'm not going to take it away from you.
Oh, because there's the 0 more intel questions. Okay.
Yeah, and you also have you have a 1 or more, so you're not spending intel. You get these
You
automatically.
don't spend it, you get them. Okay.
Yeah, so you get 1 from both the first 2 categories, the 0 and the 1.
Okay.
All right.
Which Broken's troops do we expect to face on these missions?
Blighter's troops.
Blighter's troops.
Yep.
And then 1 from the 0. What's the highest threat we can expect on this mission?
I was wondering if that was going to be asked or not.
That's the first one and the best one out of the whole list.
This is true. Where's my notes? I think I know the answer, but I still want to check and make sure I'm not lying. So, what was the first one you asked? Oh, Blighter. So Blighter,
Yeah,
she's the one
blighters.
that likes to experiment and use chemicals, and it was said that her and Shreya were once very intimate with each other a long time ago, and they were both chosen. But now Blighter is broken. Holds a personal vendetta against Shreya. But now Shreya's gone, right? So, now, Rotters, standard zombies, they are a threat 1, right? Just like your rookies.
Yep. The highest threat.
Yes, I know. I wish I had my book down here because I usually look at it. The threat 2s are your, what are they called?
I'm looking.
I was taking it. I was taking it slowly to build it up.
Threat 2 is the horrors, the gut sacks, and the spitters for her.
What are they called though?
Horrors, gut sacks, and spitters.
No. Get out of
Just
here.
elites.
Get out of here. Elites. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Elites are threat 2, which are basically toe to toe with you guys, the specialists.
Mm-hmm.
Threat 3 are the infamous. You've come. Red Hook was one. That's the one that Shreya killed in the beginning of the campaign. And the doctor, which you guys didn't come across because it was a secondary mission, is the infamous. The lieutenants, which are just under the broken themselves, are the threat 4. And you get word from your intel that one of the lieutenants, because this mission is so important to Blighter for some reason, one of her lieutenants, you don't know which one, but one of her lieutenants is actually on this mission. Extreme danger if there's a lieutenant in the area. You would have a hard time. Yep, so a threat 4 is on this mission. So toe-to-toe is very, very bad idea. Well, the singular toe-on-toe. Got to use your wits here. But this is where we do all the teamwork stuff as much as we can, right? Set up actions, teamwork, using your armor, everything you guys can think of.
That informs me to tell the crew to go heavy, if they are comfortable with heavy, as a commander.
Okay.
Or through the marshal, because of course the marshals actually control these things.
Rookies start gearing up. Spud and the rest of the rookies are gearing up. Spud, now when you are rolling, you'll also be doing the second roll for the rookies as well. Actually, I forget if his roll also counts for the rookies or he does it separate. Man, I've forgotten so much stuff. I'll have to be looking into this. I guess if the rookies don't really do much unless they're commanded or ordered to do something.
Yep.
So it would just be Spud
Yeah,
acting kind of on his own unless we also do a roll for them. All right, so we got Dan as the medic, Dom as Yax the heavy, and then we have another, we have Black Standing Storm. Just for experience-wise, Marshall, you may assign Black Standing Storm right now to be played by someone else as well, whether it's you or Soundwaves, because I'm gonna let Jeff play both himself and the other rookies if needed. You're muted, sir.
Soundwaves, do you want him? Do you have a preference, or I can take her if you'd rather? I'm neither here nor there on the issue.
I think you should, because you're a little. When Mike played her, he was very fast and loose with the I shoot things and take danger, and I'm the opposite type of player.
Okay, I got you. Not a problem.
You
I'm the
risk
one that's
my
usually-
character, not me.
I do a lot of crazy stuff, but I only involve me.
All right,
Or
then.
try to only involve me and the bad guy.
Well, then perfect. I was really hoping you'd ask that question because I was like, I want to tell them how dangerous it is.
Wait, so our specialists, they're threat 2?
Yes.
We're threat 2? Okay.
Yep.
We're technically threat to.
Together as a unit, you're all threat 2, but individually,
So,
if you're towards.
Black Shot knocks us up 1 to like threat 3, but even then we're still,
Way under.
yeah, we're still outclassed.
That's where
by-
things like my grant one person potency is a +1 too. So that would give them up to 3 as a group, and then you do like, I'm going to do a special desperate maneuver, and you get another 1.
Now, this might be you. I might make a case since Mike has 3 uses of Black Shot, 3 supply of Black Shot, and you've not used any. This might be a case where the quartermaster might be like, you might want to take some Black Shot to give you some potency. Still muted, Dom.
Yeah, sorry, I have someone else.
Okay, I'm sorry. I couldn't.
That just got home.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I would make a case that if he didn't give you food for the engagement, he would still give everybody Black Shot to equip. I think that would make sense.
Yeah, we have a ton of supplies, and we're going to get a lot more supplies over these 2 missions.
Yeah, Black
You
Shot
know,
would
because we're gonna win, obviously.
they have to.
For sure.
You can't disappoint the brand new commander on your first mission when he takes over. That's so embarrassing.
All right.
You're the
Definitely not. We'll be doing
specialist.
fine there, bud.
So we just mark off Black Shot.
Yep. So you're still gonna get your 2 load that you get, but you also are gonna be able to click the Black Shot double boxes,
Okay.
which will be 2 more load, but you're allowed to carry it, which is gonna give you 3 uses of Black Shot each. It looks like Mike has signaled me.
I quit. Leave me alone. I hate you.
Let me just respond to him real quick.
So mean, Mike. Let me look up what some
Horror
of
of
my
such
equipment
language.
does. Medic. I love this system when you know something what it does in your head, but then you're like, let me look what the book wrote because that's completely different than what I'm thinking, and then it always is.
All right, so Mike will be taking his Black Standing Storm. So well, you're gonna ask the quartermaster when he gets in here, and he's gonna be like, once we get him to calm down, we'll ask him if he wants to expend a use of Black Shot. So I'm actually gonna unmark it off his sheet, and just to make sure, and we'll go over it with him. We'll give him a quick recap and everything else. But we can start putting together the engagement roll questions. Ah, there he is, because my screen just went crazy. All
While
right.
you catch him up, do you mind? I gotta step away for like 2 minutes.
All right.
Okay.
We'll trade him for him.
We just did a huge trade. Mike is back.
Yeah, sorry about that. I slept in and then didn't check my phone because I forgot what day it was. I just it was another day in lockdown, therefore
You know,
didn't.
I'm willing to trade you GM to GM. I'll forgive you if my character Archie, obviously gets what he wants eventually here.
Who wants to see a giant lady?
Okay, you know what? I'll give you.
You have a Lady Dimitrescu in your game too?
We have an
Whole
entire
race of them.
We have a whole race of 50-foot tall ladies.
I'm just saying. I'm willing to bend. I'm ready to break all the rules and not
Yeah,
care.
you know what? Okay. Well, you know what, Lucas? I'll give you what you want. You can get your custom Veritech.
I was already getting that. You suck, Mike. You know what I really want? I want you to have a cool fantasy background.
Mm-hmm. I need to. I don't think I actually have one.
Not a
I don't
space.
even know how to change it. I forgot how to change
I have a
it.
shameless plug, like in most videos.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shameful. I'm just giving you some crap. Let's can we give Mike a super quick recap of what we want? Okay, so you got a new commander. Everybody had to vote unanimously, and I played your character to say, sure, we'll do that.
Yeah, no, I would have agreed with the group.
Okay, there. I just fixed the overlay on that side,
There you go.
and I'm not going to worry about the other one right now. All right, so that's
We're
enough.
getting ready to go out on the mission, and the question was, would you want to spend some of the supply to give us all black shot, because there is a tier 4 enemy lieutenant on this mission.
Tier 4 enemy lieutenant.
Just under.
Let me look at my supply sheet and see what we're looking at.
The first question was, would you spend 1 food to give +1 die to the engagement roll? We had voted no for you at this point because we thought you might be hoarded. You only have 4 food left, but you can change your mind because it's not too late.
Wait, 4 food? I have 6 food on my sheet.
Well, weren't we clicking in dots to say that they were when you've expended stuff, or is it the other way? Last
I
I
was
knew.
doing it the other way.
Oh well.
I think so, at least.
Oh no. Yeah. Okay.
Well, Spud is going into this thing with a normal load, and he picked a cooking kit and fresh food as his normal load.
So you know what? I'll.
He's got home cooking as a skill.
Yep, I will spend the food for the engagement roll, and then it was 1 supply for
Not
the.
not supply. There you could expend 1 use of. They were asking for black shot.
Yep, no, I'll give the group one shot, one thing of black shot too.
All right.
I'm feeling generous right now because tier 4 enemy. I think we need all the help we can get.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what we think.
It's right under the broken themselves. So.
Yes, so we'll just take them out now and fix the problem. Yep.
That's right. We did a free play scene where everybody met very early in the morning, the command staff, and got to know the new commander and had to have a unanimous vote in order to do so. Everybody voted. Actually, the marshal gave the hardest time to give over, but everybody eventually voted him in. And then we came into, let's get the mission going. Here we are. You are taking 3 specialists, and they gave you Black Standing Storm, which is your scout.
Okay.
Jeff is taking the rookie Spud, as he's played before, and you got the Shattered Lions, which has the brothers duo in it that you and Soundwaves played before.
Yep.
Soundwaves is playing.
The brother.
Soundwaves is playing his medic, and Dom the Marshal is playing Yax, the new heavy. So that's where we're at. Okay, so now don't forget everybody on your sheet right now. I'd like to know your load. So Spud is going medium load.
He is going normal load.
Normal load.
Because he is a traveler. He moves fast and quiet in a normal load.
Oh.
So, and in his load, he's carrying his family weapon, which is the reinforced rake, and a cooking kit and fresh food.
You're such dead meat. I mean, you're such dead vegetable. Sorry. Haha.
We did Spud.
So, regardless of your load that you pick, you still get to pick utility of 2. And then also we're going to click your black shot, don't forget, which is a double. But you get that for free on there, which is going to give you 3 uses. So I think because we're trying to keep it the same when you use something, that's when you mark a bubble. So Mike, make sure those are the same for your quartermaster stuff too. When you use something, you mark the bubble.
Yeah.
Once the bubble's gone, you can uncheck the box. Does that make sense? Not too confusing?
Yeah, no. I think I was doing that. Yeah, with the food supplies. Yeah.
I didn't think you had spent 6 food yet, but I was like, all right, well, just in case, then we're gonna hold
because
off.
one of them we got 2 less supply in it. I think.
Yeah, one lost 1 supply. For...
Yeah, like we had lost that, and then when we came back, someone had stolen something.
Yep, that was one of your auto fail mission, or it was like the mission penalty. All right, so we got everything settled. You got black shot, you get the +1 die. Also, the commander spent 1 intel, so you're gonna get 2 die right there. So let's get the questions up, and have the marshal ask the questions.
Yep. So, are all on the mission oath sworn to the Legion?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our first D6.
Yep.
We did spend 1 intel to give advance information, so that's another D6.
Okay.
Is everyone on the mission a specialist or soldier? No, we have quite a few rookies with us still, so not ixnay on that. Does any Legionnaire distrust or not respect the leadership enough to obey orders on not respect the leadership enough to obey orders on the battlefield? I don't think anybody's that way. Yeah.
Not so far.
Not so
Nope.
far.
All good here, bud.
Our required specialists or equipment not on the mission. Well, our required specialists are on the mission. I mean,
Yep.
Almost all of them are.
Yep.
So, supply mission then. Did the quartermaster spend food to equip the mission? That is a yes. So that's 3d6 we're at now. Is the current pressure higher than 2? It is not.
We're at
We've been
1.
keeping a good. Yeah, we've been keeping up on that. So that's great. Awesome. So 3 die.
Yep, that is our engagement.
And you started with 1, right?
3 total.
Yeah.
You had 1 and you guys earned 2 because of the stuff you spent.
It'd be at 4 because you start with 1 just to start with. You always start with 1. So
Primary
intel,
mission.
food. plus
Actually,
that
no,
one
I don't.
above.
I don't think in this game you do. That's in Blades.
No, you don't.
Oh,
You
don't?
start at 0. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember
And if
Strauss
you-
talking
If you
about that
roll
one.
0, you roll with disadvantage. Yeah. Hey.
Hey.
Oh, you got a
Eee.
6. Oh, you guys are in a very controlled position.
If only we could have crit.
Close.
Okay, so let me give you a little bit of information. So this is, of course, your primary mission, Operation Screaming Citadel. It was the commander's preference. You spent an intel to make sure. It's a special supply where you rescue the supplies. The rewards are +2 morale and a relic, the Centauri Banner, which means mechanically, if you get it, you can choose to ignore up to 5 morale penalty deaths from Legionnaires. So you're netting like 7 morale here. Penalties are none. The starting position, let me put it in here, is controlled, and supplies brought were +1. It's +1 food, right? And +1 black shot. Everybody's put their black shot on. Oh, what was the loads that everybody else chose? I'm sorry.
The medic took heavy
Okay.
with
Yeah,
shield and
Shield and other item, don't forget.
yep, I'm looking at that now. Shield and oil
Okay. Yax.
and
Oh.
black shots marked off, and because I have a Barton trait of pious, I have a
You have a what?
reliquary.
Oh, okay.
Reliquary, I should say.
For
That's-
corruption. Yeah.
That's my giant tome attached to my hip.
Okay.
chain.
What Yax?
Awesome. Yax took a heavy loadout. He's got a lot of armor. He's got his fine heavy weapon. He's got fitted heavy plate, a fine wrecking kit, and a fine tower shield. So I think that's like 5 armor altogether. That's substantial, to say the least.
Not less.
And then I've got black shot oil and a reliquary, just in case.
And Black Standing Storm is running with a normal load because they are considered fast and quiet in normal load. And if they have no armor, they start with 1 less level of harm when they take harm. And went with a hand weapon and a flare gun, and it marked off the black shot.
Okay. Excellent. So I'm going to put you in a control position at the base of this small mountain. And actually, we'll start the action when you decide which way you want to go. But since you're controlled, I'm going to give you time to do like a roll ahead of time if you want to scout the area a little bit. Either like a scout roll or even a research roll if someone has research. So let me give you just a little bit of information. So you're trying to go get the Centauri Banner, right? So nearby, northeast at the base of the Southern Peak Mountains, is rumored the Centauri Banner has mostly been unearthed from an ancient Legion outpost. This banner is the original symbol of the Legion's authority, which was lost when the Empire fell. After the breaking 3 years ago, One of the broken set up a dig site to look for it. Undead have now been spotted returning here, and remember that the old outpost is nearly unearthed and Banner claimed. The mission is to finish the dig while fending off any challengers. So, as you get to this place, it's not quite mountain, it's not quite hills, as it's getting rockier, you know. There's a large outcropping of rock that comes out of this giant hillside as the mountainside begins to become impassable. There's an old, abandoned, and decrepit Legion watchtower that's supposed to be up on top. There's an unkept cart trail that spirals up and around the cropping several hundred feet into the air. And at the zenith, there is a plateau where the watchtower should be sitting, but you can't see it currently from being down below. So maybe it's, maybe it's twilight, maybe it's almost dark, maybe it's almost morning. You guys can decide. It's like I said, you have control of the situation here. But there are a couple of approaches. You have straight up the cart path, which is unkept, rough terrain. Now remember, time is a thing here, so I'm just going to give you that time, and alert clocks are on the board, okay? You can go straight up the cart path. You could try to scale up the mountainside, or you could look for another way. So now there's a tower up above. There could be other ways that they use to get up there, or other things, but other than just the main path. But like I said, you could scale it, like mountain climbing, literal mountain climbing. You could go up and around, or you could try to find another direction. And so this control position will jump into the action once you've kind of decided which way you want to go, or even if you guys split the party and go different directions. I'm going to give it over to you guys now to talk about it.
It seems as though our enemies have done the work for us. I say we just march on up and take what's ours.
The enemy is likely to have left someone behind, though, to notify them should we try to follow.
Should they escape, that is. I think between your bow and, well, this heavy weapon I haven't decided on yet, we'll be able to make sure none get away.
That was sure an odd thing to say there, bud.
Well said.
Prakash looks around real slow and just goes, I'd prefer not to heal you before we're halfway into the day.
Then why would I have a medic around? I'll slap him on the back.
Yeah. But this was a Legion post, so there's more than likely one way to skin a cat.
I'm kind of leaning towards the medic there, bud.
Looks likely they had another way to either get in or get out should problems arise.
Let me interrupt you real quick. I forgot. Marshall, who's in charge of this mission?
Oh. Yax is new, so I don't think... Or Yax. I keep putting the G in. It's
Either's fine.
Real G's move in silence, like lasagna.
Walks on, walks off.
Awesome. So I think Black Standing Storm led the last mission she was on, and that went terribly. You brought her back on a stretcher.
I don't know if she led that.
No.
I think
That was Bellig, the heavy.
Spuds off the table.
Oh, definitely off the table there, bud.
Okay, I think
I
it
roll
falls,
right off that table.
I think it falls to our obsessive medic then. Hopefully you've got some answers in that book of yours.
Thank you. Sorry about the interruption, but thank you for doing that.
You're good. He'll say, yeah, Rakash will kind of chuckle. Like, I agree that you are ready to go into battle, but let's look for an alternate route first, just in case there's a trap here. From what I understand, the people in the mountains got so trapped by a obviously easy situation. Referring back in time to the cart mission, where it got really, really dangerous all of a sudden.
Also very fun. I wouldn't do it again.
So, Rakash wants to look for an alternate way in real quick. If he can't find something, he'll go with Plan B, which is Bull Rush.
Nope, you're in definitely a controlled state, so you can give me a roll to try to figure out if there is another way. Someone can. You can lead a group action. Someone can do it on their own.
What's
Someone
your
could-
scout like?
My scout's a dot.
Okay, your research?
I have a
My research is
single
2.
dot.
Okay, so I'm in the same boat as you with 2. Except I had 2 in both.
So
And I do have a map and a fine map and fine maps and a compass.
Oh, a little increased effect for you. That's what that sounds like to me.
So,
Indeed.
yeah, I'll lead a group action if you guys want to.
Okay, I'll join you.
Sure.
You doing research?
Yeah, we'll do research.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I'll roll mine first, and then everyone else will follow.
So it's controlled. It's controlled standard for everybody, but Mike would be controlled greater effect because of the maps if you're using those.
Yeah, I'm using them. I'm kind of looking over them.
Standard?
Controlled standard, yeah. This is the best position you can be in.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yay.
6. So we
Ooh,
definitely
nice.
succeed. Alright.
No stress so far. Whoever's going in on it, of course. Who else was it? Just you two, or is there more?
Spud.
Spud's rolling.
Yox.
I don't see Yax. He's
Yeah,
like,
I need to
I
click
can barely
again.
see 10 feet in front of me. Just point me towards the action.
Oh, wasn't a fail.
All right.
Partial success, so it wasn't a fail.
So there's no stress for Black Standing Storm.
Oh,
Using your maps and looking at like an old ancient map that you had in your records that talked about this place a little bit. So where the cart path touches the ground where it starts, on the opposite side of this outcropping, this big huge chunk of mountain, was said to be like a spy gate. So if you can locate that, if you go there, you should be able to squeeze through. It might be tight, it might be old and crusty, it might even be hard to find or hard to squeeze through, but there should be something there that might be useful other than just charging up at the front door.
alright. I'm gonna definitely start looking for that as I kind of start wandering over that way.
All right, let me gotta get give me a clock or two on the board. Not that you guys need to know that. All right.
Come on and jam.
All right, so you're in control position. So it takes a little bit of time. What time of the day is it? You guys were able to, like I said, control when you arrived here. So whatever works best for y'all.
I like Twilight.
Twilight in the morning or the evening?
I guess the dead don't sleep, so I think the
Yeah.
evening would be better. Or do you guys like the sunrise more?
I would think the sunrise more because they're in the mountains. So we might get a little bit of that backdrop instead of the opposite.
Mhm.
So I'm sorry, what was it, morning?
Yeah, I'm going to say morning if we can. If everybody else agrees.
Sure.
Majority.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Thematic too, because I just kind of walk up on an old thing going, my, what a rustic looking location.
Yeah.
It's rustically broken and gone. Hand me that shovel, Spud.
All right, clocks.
They're there.
Time is of the essence. So you make your way to the other side, and you can see that it gets real rocky real fast, real impassable. There's definitely no way up unless you're scaling the mountain, but there is lots of kind of indents or fissures in the rock structure, vertical fissures that you can start poking through. There's been some, some rock slides or some dirt slides. There's also a lot of bushes and shrubbery. So there's lots of stuff, lots of things going on here that are lots of places that could potentially be hiding a doorway or something like that. So still in control position. How do you guys find the door? If there is one, I mean.
I'm gonna go scout. If other people want to do it, I can lead a scout action.
I do not have any dots in scouts, sir. Spud's gonna stay back.
Yeah, so this heavy armor might not be the best for sneaking about.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't keep going on everything.
You could command the rookies to also assist you if you wanted to. They roll. What do they roll? 1 die. Yep. That's up to you though.
Yeah.
There's 5 of them.
5 of them.
Because Spud's kind of.
I forget. Group action means only the person that failed, that ran it, gets stressed, right?
No, everybody gets stressed. That was my commander move, I think.
No. It's the leader takes 1 stress for everybody that fails.
Oh.
But
Okay, so I don't get
the officer perk is they only take up to 1 stress, no matter how many people will fail. So that's super nice.
Yep.
So only the person who leads is in danger because they're the ones that are holding people together. They're stressing out, keeping them all pushed, doing the thing they need to do. So
I'm willing to join if you want, Mike. I just have 1 point though.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I got a free stress bar, so.
Okay.
all right, so the 2
Controlled standard.
controlled standard for both of you on a scout roll.
Or
Ooh.
okay, 1 stress.
1 stress and a partial success.
Yeah.
Controlled.
Explain it, but I'll be listening.
Well, that will be up to you. How? Let's see. Choose side. All right. So, basically, the penalty here is a tick on the dig complete clock, where whoever's looking for it up there finds what they're looking for. It's a 6 o'clock. That means I'm putting 1 tick on there. You can resist that if you wish. But basically, you guys are looking. It takes a while before you discover behind the shrubbery that you have to pull and rip out and dig some dirt out of the way. There's an old, there's these old hinges built into the like this old wooden frame. Actually, it's metal frame with some metal hinges, but the door itself, maybe it was metal, maybe it was wood, but it's been long gone. But it looks like an old spy gate or another portal, another way out. But you're at the base, so it probably like climbs its way up top. So Mike will have to decide if you resist that to keep that tick off the clock. But otherwise, you've found what you're looking for.
How many ticks does that clock out, or how many dials
one
does that
now.
clock out?
1 out of 6.
1 out of 6. I'm not gonna resist that then.
Alrighty. So you guys have done well. You find it. You find a way in. It's very dark inside. There's lots of cobwebs and dust. And as you pull stuff out, there's just this kind of putrid smell that comes out. There's a good chance that the sewer system, if they had one, ran through here as well. So, where do you go? What do you guys do now?
Well, I'll lead the way.
Hey,
I like
Push.
him. He takes charge.
He does. He is very brave. And very, very loud. Yeah, he's like,
Look.
Yes, go ahead. Heavy Stumpy man.
As we're like casually strolling down this like cobwebbed cavern, like I'm just holding my shield up in front of me to catch all the cobwebs, and I'll like turn back. Much too loud, I'll be yelling back like, I don't think I've mentioned it, but it feels so good to be back in action. You know what I'm saying? Staying in one place for so long, it really has a way of weighing a man down. I'm sure you can relate, right, Spud?
Yeah. I haven't actually been stuck down in one place there, bud. I've been able to move around all over. The Spud's been everywhere.
Huh. You'd think, never mind.
What, did I have a tuberous name that I stay in the ground too much?
Well, potatoes are rather Cecil, as I've come to understand them.
You said fancy words there, bud. See if I understand them.
That's why I like you.
Spud's brother elbows him. He talks fancy. You remember what Mom said? Fancy man.
I don't think Spud's brother is here.
You said the Shattered Lions are here.
That's the other 2 brothers, the ones
No,
you and
that's
Mike play.
It's the other
Mackett
two
and
brother.
Nucket.
Oh, that's the wrong
Yeah.
ones. No, I got them backwards.
I think Mackett and Nucket would be quibbing with each other back and forth. I don't mind if you and Mike role play some of their reactions. I think that would be great.
Yeah, I'll do that here in a bit. Sorry, I'm just taking out the trash.
Take you out, Mike. What? Anyways.
Yep.
So Yax is calling back and talking to us, and he's pushing some more cobwebs out of the way. Like, where's the light source? because it's very dark. There's no light in here.
One of us had to have brought a torch, right?
I'll mark off a thing of oil. You have a torch.
All right. Because that's another thing we haven't done in this game yet, but just like in Blades of the Dark, there's something called flashbacks. Well, if we need to, for an asset, we can always flash back going, hey, we should take torches. And then we do a little scene, do a roll, and we come back to the present and
I
go
always
with it.
forget about those. But,
Yep.
I mean, I've got oil, so I can just say when we got in there, it's like
You could find something, wrap it with some old cloth. You could douse it in oil, make a torch out of it. So the medic has the single torch. Are you like maybe the center of the group to kind of give light both directions for those trailing? So
plus, I am the medic, so I don't need to be in the back being stabbed in the throat.
it's true. So
Spud can do that.
Yax is pushing cobwebs out of the way and with his shield and talking, and then one of the webs actually, like you push, and then it pulls your shield almost right out of your hands. As you realize it's not just a cobweb; it's very thick spider web that's very sticky. Like it almost pulls your heavy shield out of your arms because you weren't expecting it. You're just like, whoa. And as you start to shine the torch around, you notice that there's a lot more of these webs as the hallway that you're in that's real broken down is starting to open up, kind of like where the ceiling's caved in and open up into kind of the cavern above. But you can see that it looks like the halls zigzag and kind of come to some switchback stairs and start to work their way up as there's little rooms that are gone. It looks like the Legion built its fortress way down into this mountain spot, but what you're starting to see is lots of actual spider webs. And but it quickly starts to become confusing with the cobwebs, everything being broken down, and not sure where to go. You guys, it's not long until you kind of not sure where you are at. You need to find, obviously you need to go up, but what stairway? That stairway? Is it that stairway? You know, was that something fluttering over in the shadows? What was that? What's that smell?
Who's that guy?
From San Diego.
Maybe you find something about the size of a large dog all entwined in a web that's just kind of hanging there on a strand, just kind of slowly rotating. What do you guys do?
That's not ominous at all.
No, it's definitely not.
Say, the medic, you with the book. What would make webs this big? It nearly took my shield. My shield weighs the better side of 20 pounds.
Well, there's two things that make webs. There's the little butterflies that make web-like things, or caterpillars that make giant webs in trees, and then there's spiders.
It's like, look at it.
Ugh.
What exactly do you have written in that book? You
Religious
think I don't know what
stuff.
butterflies and spiders are?
It's a reliquary. It's not almanac of random stuff I find along the way.
Then why is it so important?
I just said why. It's a reliquary.
It's interesting to know
Religious
here. Yax was the one that threw the dagger towards the book, right? That stuck in the medic instead? Yeah, all right. This is good. So there seem to be lots of big, sticky webs, but you guys are not sure which way to go, so we need a little bit of a decision, a little bit of a scouting roll or research or something. Well, it's probably scouting, but you guys decide.
Oh, I can roll to scout our way through because I do have some maps, so I might have a map of the interior of this place.
More maps?
It is an old Legion layout, right?
Yeah, it could have been on the map that they're like, this is what we used to build all the time. Build like this in the future.
I would say your starting position is, if you're looking at scout, it's controlled limited, because you don't have, I mean, maybe you have some maps that will help you and that will raise it up to standard if you're going to use a mic, but it would be limited because it's really hard to tell. It's really dark. It's super dusty. It's all these webs. There's things that don't belong here. So if you use the maps, it'll move you up to controlled standard.
I'd be willing to help again, but don't want to overstress you too quick.
No, I mean, I still got, 5.
All right.
So I'll
Controlled
let's do
standard?
this.
No problem. So lead a group action for you two?
Yep.
All right. Control, I guess it'd be controlled limited for, I guess it doesn't really matter. You're just trying to help
it's
out.
just
So,
success.
but yeah.
It's just a number for me, really.
Partial.
Partial.
Ooh.
Double partial. So no
So
stress.
it's success.
So, so the medic is like looking around, and I think Blank Stain's term is like looking like, shine the light there, shine it over there, that stairway, and you shine it back over here, and then BAM! Suddenly, it's just like out of a horror movie because you gotta get that jump scare. As you turn back around to this one passage as it goes up, there's this gigantic spider. It's like, and it's followed by these other gigantic spiders, and they're coming. That booming voice of Yax had to be it. They're coming down the stairwell the way that you need to go, and there's like dozens of them. They range from the size of like your hand up to the size of almost a person, and there's just different sizes. I think of the scene from The Mandalorian when they're trapped in the ice cavern, and there's this spiders like things that they are all different sizes. It's kind of like that, but not spider. They're spiders, and suddenly these things are coming on you. They are extremely fast. They go across all surfaces. They have these huge dripping mandibles, and they're just coming. Now, that is your. So they basically got you surrounded. That's the bad thing that happens. You can resist. Basically, it means they're not quite on you yet, Mike. If you want to resist that, that means like, oh, you see spiders, then you guys move to a position and you stay in control. Otherwise, you're moving into a risky position.
I'll probably try to resist with insight.
Yep, you resist with the same stat you rolled, right? Or
Usually.
Yep.
Unless you change it.
so not the same as stat. I meant like because you use scout, right? So it would be insight resist.
So I'll resist with insight then.
Alrighty. So that happens no matter. So you guys are going to stay in a control position. You react fast enough that the spiders don't surround you, and you guys can keep your back away from them. Oh, and no stress. What do you do? What is it that you do when you see the spiders?
I feel like my character kind of saw like the glint of one of the spider eyes the first time. That's why she was like moving the torch over there. Like, okay, I don't see any stuff, and then she kind of shifts the group that way before turning back and asking to point the torch that way.
Okay, boom. And you guys got your backs to a wall. They're coming out of the stairwell. You need to go, but they're coming down, and so they're coming right at you. So like the way you need to go is to the left, but they're going to come down around the wall and come right at you. But there's a whole bunch of them. They don't look super tough, but they definitely outnumber you.
So this place is caked in spider webs, you said, right?
Oh yes, you got to be careful where you step.
Beautiful. I want to grab one of the oil vials I have or maybe buckets or whatever in my I don't know, waist belt, and just throw it at a nearby wall so it like splatters everywhere. And I want to grab the torch from my friend the medic and just light everything up. Smoke the suckers out.
Okay. What's your intention here? Is it intention to hurt them with the smoke and the flame?
So my intention here is to wreck an obstacle with savage force. I think to breach defenses with force. I think that's kind of lines up with it, right?
It sounds delicious to me.
Do I get a bonus out of using an item?
Yeah, if you're going to use your oil, I'll give you increased effect. I mean, you are in controlled. I guess that would be standard. Medic, are you going to be okay with this torch being grabbed? Is this going to be some point of contention?
I'm going to allow it to happen.
You could even aid me.
Because it all happened so fast. I was going to aid you if you did something that used your actual physical force, but you're using oil. So there's nothing really I can aid you other than throw more oil.
Well, I mean, giving me the torch, maybe say something encouraging along the way.
Now, the thing is, that's the other thing. If you don't want to do a group action, you can just I'll pay one stress and give you a bonus die.
No, it's all good. I'm going to do fine. I don't mess up rules, remember?
I'm not going to aid you outright on this one. He is just not going to stop you either. It's going to be like, he jumped back, and while he's jumped back with a torch in front of him, you've thrown the vial and just go, yoink! All in one fluid motion. Looks great on camera.
Oh yeah, you just you're spinning, throwing the vial, still spinning, grabbing the torch, and then you come out of the spin and throw the torch, and now we'll see. Now this is can be controlled standard. No, I'm sorry, controlled great effect because you're using the oil, and I assume you're acting alone here, right?
Yep.
So you're wrecking.
He's gonna
yes.
wreck it.
No bonus
I'm
stuff.
wreck it.
Okay.
That's bomb bad.
That's 2 1s for
That's
anybody
not a
watching at home.
6 in there at all.
Oh,
You broke your promise.
My smoker's cough just came right back there. Oh gosh. I don't even
I don't
know.
like to see that, John.
I'm a burnt spud.
All right, now you're gonna be able to resist this, what I tell you, if you want. Holy crap! I just got lightheaded. I just laughed so hard because I did not expect that crap to happen.
Whew.
Scale 3. 1 second. I forgot to. Okay. I forgot to make a clock for these guys. Oh, let's go ahead and make a little. Whoops! I didn't mean to roll that. Sorry.
Message to yourself. Don't do that.
I'm always checking, make sure it's not the wife and I have screaming babies upstairs. You know. I didn't mean so that I did not roll a clock to actually have 4 segments filled. So.
I love to make sure my wife's not screaming babies upstairs.
That did not come out right. Okay, all right. So that was controlled, so it's not so bad as it could be. So you throw the oil, it splashes against the wall. You go to throw the torch, and as you throw it, a spider stops and its abdomen shoots like that, and it shoots a web, and it hits Yax right in the arm and sticks his arm to the wall. And you're stuck in place. The torch gets thrown off balance, does not hit the oil, but does not go out. It just hits the ground. And now, you can resist that, Yax, if you wish to resist.
My prowess?
Yeah, you can resist the consequence of being stuck to the wall. Now, the torch still flutters onto the ground and is down there, and the oil is still splashed, but you were not. This would be you not being stuck to the wall.
Yeah, I'll resist.
It's good not to have my swinging arm stuck when I need to be swinging.
I don't think I get any bonus die for this, yeah?
No, you just roll it. You just you take no stress. The web hits and you're just like, I don't think so, or whatever.
Yeah.
You tell them.
I'm stronger than that.
You thought you
fools.
had me.
Hail,
Spider-Man.
spiders.
Spider-Man's got nothing on me.
All right, so Yax tries to do this daring move with the torch. The Mac's like, what the? Maybe. And so the torch is on the ground. The oil's against the wall. The spiders surround you. You're still free. No one's injured, but they're closing in fast. You're still in controlled position for the moment, but that's not going to last very long. What do you guys do?
I can start swinging if you guys want.
Yeah.
That is what I'm good at. I'm very good at it.
The medic leans forward. Yax, stop trying to do stuff fancy. Drink this and break them. And he hands you a potion.
I usually don't drink on the job, but
The doctor said drink your medicine.
What is it?
Tonic. With my tonics, he gets in potency for a physical action. So he is now a +1 to his potency, which is
so Yax's heavy weapon is a flail.
Oh.
Got a stick with a chain with a spiked ball on the end of it.
Yeah.
It's my fly swatter for the time being, I suppose.
Okay.
boot your face.
Your spider swatter.
I start getting it wound up once I toss the vial back to the dock.
All right. So you drink it and toss it back. I assume you drink the tonic is what you mean.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. You going to you going skirmish us here, or are you doing
I
something
believe
else?
so.
Skirmish would be probably the best move, especially since you got a 3 in it. You are still controlled, standard, but this will give you great effect. That's your potency, standard, great effect. Just be aware that they outnumber you in threat. So,
Well, he'd be basically, with potency, wouldn't he also technically be a 3 instead of a 2?
I think potency is how your effect is, not your scale.
You're right.
You can check. You can check though,
I'll check, but I'm pretty sure.
because you technically all fight.
Yeah, because there's potency, threat, and scale are all separate.
Yep.
in this one. They were kind of muddled in regular blades,
And
but this one they list them out.
And I
separately.
still get them confused, but like a scale of 1 is 1 or 2 people. A small group, which is you guys, a squad, is scale 2, and a medium group, which is what these spiders are scale 3.
What would another potency do for me?
Oh, you mean your special move?
Yeah.
Let me take a look at that. You can push stuff. You can also gain potency melee combat. I guess I would give you the great effect above that, so it'd be like 4 ticks of damage as opposed to 3. But that would cause you 2 stress, and you also have teammates too. That's up to you. You can use it now.
Yeah, no, I won't do it yet. As much as I want to have Yax come out on a good note, I think I'm gonna do fine just as it is.
Yes.
So,
always roll 6s.
Okay. Now, don't forget, you guys can always push yourself. You can get assistance from other people. And there's also Devil's Bargains. I'm trying to remember all the different things we can do where I go. But you've already rolled the dice, so you do it. So you have great effect. Let me just mark that on the spiders. Advance, choose.
Great.
So you start swinging, and you're just at the front line, and they just dive on you, and they are just biting you with their pinchers and trying to stab you with their stingers. And so let's see, you do a lot of damage to them. I mean, you're just like, it's just, you guys, everybody else is getting splattered with bug juice at this point, and Yax is probably just covered. So that was standard effect, right? It was controlled.
That was great effect. Great effect.
Oh, yeah, but you were in control, so that would be 1 damage towards you, plus they have threat on you. So you're going to take level 2 harm, which is poisoned, as their stingers just jab into you.
Can I discount 2 armor and negate that?
Let's see. How does your armor work here? You have armor, heavy, shield, and special.
Yeah, I have. Okay, so I have heavy armor. Well, I actually have. Yeah, I have heavy armor, and I've got a fine tower shield. So a fine just gives you 2 uses of a 1-use item. Yeah. So I think I have 4 armor, like essentially.
Places.
The shield should have its own dots.
Fine heavy weapon.
Oh, okay. Wait. Grants 1 armor. Yeah, you're right. Fine tower shield just grants 1 armor, so I should only have 3.
Yeah, because you can use your shield once, and you can use your armor once. And then
What's so nice about a tower shield versus like a normal shield or fine shield? I guess is
meta color.
yeah, just in the descriptions. Gotcha.
It means something. It's just give me a second.
It's considered fine quality for boy.
It's scale.
It's different in blades in the dark, because that's where fine quality really did step you up. But
Fine. Would your fully metal shield embossed with any symbol you desire. That's all it says for fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yep.
It's a fancy shield.
I have 3.
You have a fancy one.
So I can use both my armor against this. Two armor against it to take it down to 0 harm.
yes,
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'll do.
alrighty. So your shield, yep, and your special, because you get a little extra because you are the heavy, right? So they come at you, but they end up like grabbing and they're like punching through the shield eventually because they're hitting so hard. But then you're just smashing them into the ground and hitting them.
I think what happens is as they're like piling on my shield, I like press it into like a stalagmite that's coming up. I bend the shield into like a V shape, but I smash like a bevy of these spiders like in the process. I ruin the shield, but I guess a few on my shoulders probably like rip some pauldrons off as well.
Yep. Perfect. Yax, you've done well. Let's hear from everybody else, as the spiders are like, they're mostly on you, but they're still a threat. And they're going to get all over everybody here real soon.
I'm looking for the commanding the rookies thing, since I don't have a lot of attack powers as the medic.
Well,
You can either do a command order to tell them to do something, or they can roll the same action in a group action alongside you. But yeah, look that up real quick. I think Mike, we can look at Spud and Black Standing Storm here.
well, I have a flare gun.
Spud.
What's that now?
Spud also has 2 dots in skirmish and has his rake. So
Well, you
Do
get.
you want to go ahead. I was thinking about using the flare gun to set off the oil.
Oh,
To
that
scare off the spiders.
either or. Whoever wants. Narratively, you guys decide who's going and what you want to do.
You want to go? I've already done 2 things tonight. Well, 3.
Okay. Spud kind of jumps forward. He swings his rake around like a quarterstaff and starts going into those spiders.
You got to keep those pesky buds off your crops, right? You don't always have herbicides to use. You gotta go out there and man up. So are you skirmishing on it?
Who has herbicides? I don't have any of those. I never could afford those.
Nope. So you guys still control. You actually have a really good control right now. You're doing really well. So you are, if you're doing skirmish, you're in a controlled, I would say, standard. Just kind of, so you kind of have going on right now. Yep.
Okay. And I'm not going to have any extra bonus die as far as I know.
Keep in mind that
And
they are 2 scale higher than you because you are a lonely rookie. Just your scale is a little bit different than that of the specialist.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Don't worry. That's what armor's for.
Let's go. Yep.
Oh, it doesn't matter because he rolls a 6.
Woohoo.
I did say that was standard effect,
No
right?
one brings the Spud down.
I did say it was standard, right? Man,
Yep, it was controlled standard.
Yox is over there hailing spiders into the stalactites, and Spud, you'd step forward that whirling dervish of a a modified rake, and
A reinforced rake.
it's like they're jumping into a plane propeller. The way you're spinning that thing, and just like goop everywhere. But there is still a few spiders left. I'm gonna say their threat is even with. I'm sorry, their scale. I'm sorry, I meant scale before. The scale is even with you guys now. So they're definitely less up, but there's still a few spiders. They're not quitting. You're in their home. They're shooting webs at you, trying to stick you to place. They're trying to jab you with poison stingers. What do you guys do to finish them off?
I think I'm gonna shoot the flare gun at the oil, and since it kind of splattered around, maybe it'll catch the rest of them in fire.
Well-
Also, light up the area too for us, so we can definitely make sure we're going the right way.
Sounds like a win-win. What roll are you making?
I am gonna go with a shoot roll.
Oh, nice. Okay, control standard.
Mhm.
I'm being way too easy on you guys, aren't I?
Yeah.
For now.
Don't worry. What could go wrong with oil and fire?
Yeah,
In the
fire.
underground. And webs everywhere.
Mm.
No,
All right.
No problems. I
Yeah,
got
that
a
partial
5.
success.
So that is still a success, which is going to finish these spiders off. Now, so you hit the oil. It actually takes a second to look like it's going to light, but then it does, and it goes up, and it catches the webs quickly, and it starts to light up the whole area as it goes, and the whole place is like burning embers, and it just lights up this place like Christmas. It's crazy. The downside of that is, what was that? It was standard control. So it's 1. It's going to put a tick on the alert clock, which is a 4 o'clock. Because it's so bright, it's gonna the heat and the light is gonna reach the upper levels where the dig is happening, and possibly not alert fully, but it's gonna be just a little bit on the clock. You can resist that if you want, or
What do you guys think?
I wish I could resist it for you.
Yeah. I got 2 to resist this. I can do 2 dice to resist it, but
Could I step in and defend?
this is on the person who rolls to
Yeah,
resist
unfortunately.
the unfortunate side effect.
My bad.
Oh no, you're fine.
Sadly, yes.
Yeah.
fortunately I don't get my +2 dice to resist corruption.
Nope.
What's it gonna be, Mike?
Yeah, that's a shame.
I'll bite the bullet.
Not literally.
Okay, only 1 stress.
One
Huh?
A pretend crit.
mini crit.
Crit light.
Yay!
Crit light. So 1 stress, you're just like, nope, I better adjust that aim, and you're able to do it so the way it flares up, it doesn't catch all the webs, but definitely enough to light the area, but to make no one wiser with the smoke. Oh, yeah, I guess there'd be smoke too. The nasty smoke and the light and the heat. But but it catches the rest of the spiders it catches. They start burning, and the few that remain begin to scatter. Maybe from the light, maybe from the fact they're outnumbered. You don't know how they think, and the spiders dissipate, leaving you guys standing there, mostly unharmed. Actually, completely unharmed.
Ooh. They were close.
Kosh will, huzzah! Let's move before they come back.
Agreed.
As I'm
I
scraping
agree with the bookman.
As
As
I'm
I'm
pushing Yox up the stairs.
as
My
I'm like,
shield.
as I'm getting like pushed along, I'm scraping one off my boot. I'm like, I don't think they're coming back after that.
They usually return in greater numbers.
Yeah, they harmonize greatly.
It's gonna sound fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fantastic.
You guys all love to play dumb before we know what we're fighting, but as soon as they show up, you think you know them inside and out, huh? Tell you what, there's two ways to look at things. You can look at things with a scholarly lens, or you can look at things through my lens. Things can either be smashed or they can't be smashed. They could be smashed, and so they were not a problem.
That sounds like marital advice.
That's why I like you so much, Spud. You've got everything figured out, don't you? There's more going up in there than what people say.
Black Standing
Okay,
Storm.
see, I'm a smart potato.
Black Standing Storm is the only female in the group is just gonna sigh.
Too much testosterone. Sorry.
It's
Yeah.
it's a wonder that men survive as long as they do.
We don't, ma'am. We die just before you do, so that way show everyone you were right. It works out.
Life finds a way there, bud.
Thank you, Jurassic Park.
Well, he's gonna call us all for Jurassic Park, but not Family Guy.
I like Jurassic Park. I meant that in a nice way. Anyway, so you're having this conversation as you're working your way up. I'm going to need one more roll to kind of find the area you're looking for, and then we'll start to close up shop here.
Yeah.
We gotta get us to a cliffhanger or something.
All right.
Well, with the area much more lit now, or at least lit up a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Could we use research, since we can now kind of better gauge the area around us, and now that we've cleared out some of the webs?
You can always use whatever roll
I'll lead
you
research
want.
since you've had so many use led.
Okay. I
Yep.
was gonna say I don't want to use my last 4 stress yet. We have a tier 4 enemy that we have to die against.
Yeah. That's why I'm
I'll
trying not
help
to.
out with that research.
Guarantee there will probably be some dying next time.
Hopefully.
Yeah, the enemy.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant too.
All right. So I'm gonna lead a research on what the best way out of here is. As we look at the signs, and
Best way out.
obviously looks like a loot. Yeah.
Best way to your goal, which
To our goal, which
Okay.
may not be out. We don't even know yet because we don't know. It could be
Mm-hmm.
here, and we found a shortcut. We don't know.
alrighty.
They could be digging to get into here and scared the spiders down towards us.
Yeah, who knows?
I think from inside, not being able to know the whole situation, like it's lit up pretty well, but I think you are looking at, if you're doing a research, I think you're still in control right now, but it's going to take some time. So right now, if you don't really have the time, it's going to be limited.
I will control.
You can trade position for effect if you want to make it risky standard. Another thing we can do in this game.
I'm going to push.
You're going
I
to take
believe that's 1, right?
2 if you push
Two,
yourself. Yeah.
No, not that.
It's 1 when you assist somebody else. Just give them a straight up die.
You're right. 2 right. You're right.
Oh. Spud is helping.
Spud's gonna. Yeah, I can lead
I
the
can
group.
say-
Yeah.
He does have a dot in research, so
And I got 2, so
What's a devil's bargain you got?
Devil's bargain is there. I'm gonna it's gonna let's see standard. It's gonna be at least 2. It's gonna be like 2 ticks on the dig complete, which will move that clock to half. Another Devil's Bargain will be an alert clock because you make a little more noise, so it's gonna be a tick on the alert. Yeah, those are the 2 I have at the moment.
I'll take the alert clock.
Okay.
Since we resisted the last one off, we can put 1 on there.
I just said 1 on that. I did say it. So I'll say 1 on the alert clock. So that's going to give you an extra die to throw on there.
Right, so
Just for you, though. So you're doing controlled limited for all those who are helping. Extra die for sound waves.
Controlled.
You're leading that group action, right? Is that what?
Yes.
Okay.
So controlled limited with 1 extra die for me.
Oh, you got a 4.
Got a 4. Oh,
Crit.
a critical.
My first roll.
And once,
Bud don't know what he's looking at.
So I still get 1 stress.
Spud's the one that makes the noise that
Yeah,
causes a little bit of a, huh?
that perfectly works out. He knocks something over that shakes the roof loops a little bit up there. And a little sliver of light's now coming down. Like, oh, we are where they're digging to.
It's
He's staring at the map and he starts to he tries to lean his rake against the wall so he just doesn't have to bother with holding it. And unfortunately, he miscalculates how far the wall is from him and lets go, and it clatters to the ground noisily.
Yep.
Full of a toque.
Yeah, there you
Next
go.
time, throw yourself in and rid us of your stupidity. All right, so let us. I think it's probably this is probably a good spot right in here because next time it's going to get even wilder. I wasn't sure if you guys would go the Spygate route. It's pleasant. I was hoping you guys would actually split the party, but that would be dumb. So it's probably good that you didn't do that. Let's see. So you rolled a critical, right? So that was a standard. That was a limited, right? So at least moves up to standard. Not a little bit more. So I can give you this. I feel comfortable with that. So you're working your way up, and it gets a little bit nicer, a little less disheveled as you go, a little less fungi growing underground, less cobwebs. There still hasn't been anyone living in this fort for a long time. So what you're getting out of this is this giant, mountainous rock outcropping. If you get to the very top, there's a watchtower, like they always said, right? Whether it's still there or not is beside the point. So there's a watchtower. You're like, originally you probably thought, well, that is it. But that makes sense that they would have built the fortress down into the rock as well. I mean, they went all the way down, like a couple hundred feet to the Spygate that you guys came out. So this is actually much bigger. It's like the TARDIS. It's much bigger on the inside, right? And this place used to be like, well, you could house a small army here, and no one would ever know. Well, yeah, they would never know. And so you get up to what has to be the floor underneath the plateau where the tower should be standing, right? So you got several rooms. It's a kind of a big open space. You see this old dining table, like a huge, massive wooden table that's probably holds like 60 people, but it's broken in the middle. It's just the legs are broken. It's all the wood's just rotted from not being used forever, right? This is a really, really old location. And you see this massive, giant staircase that's probably like 40 feet wide that would go up to the next level. And you can see that it's been collapsed in with brick, stone, and mortar. And you can hear right now dozens of and just the moving of the rock. So the undead that are here are just above on the plateau surface, and they're digging their way through right now. They're trying to pull that last bit of rock through, but they're not through yet. And you guys get up, and it spills down to the stairs into the room, right? But then you look to your left, and you see what has to be it. You see this ancient set of steel doors. They still look like they're in really good shape, actually, with the sign of the Immortals, the symbol of your Legion, embellished on there, like 1/2 on each door, so it makes a full circle, but it opens, it would split.
Like a latch. Like the closing handles makes the symbol.
Yep. And
cool. Yeah, I like that.
This is definitely the vault where something valuable would be kept. Obviously, it is closed, and it might require some delicate opening or some wrecking. But you come up. Yeah, there you go, Yax. You guys are coming up, and this is the scene. The digging's coming from above you. They're trying to get in. You just hear these monstrous, probably horrors, like digging through these huge things with a lot of the rotters. And you see these doors shining off the torch that you've reclaimed. And you don't have a lot of time. It will not be long before they break through. But you got to get in there, get that, and either get back down or out some way. And that's where the pressure is going to be. And that is where we'll pick up in 2 weeks. As much as I want to just go, let's do one more roll.
Good, that's good.
I feel like
let me end on a high note because I don't get that for 2 weeks from now. Let me have that one crit. I got one so far this whole campaign. Let me enjoy it. Let me breathe it in.
Yep. That's what the crit gives you. Just you discover the place, you know that's the spot you want to get in, and you're still in control position. The spiders, my friends, were easy. The spiders were easy.
I forgot.
I used my armor on them.
Yeah, I forgot I have a free push from way back in the day. So
do we have
it down?
Do we?
I don't remember. I've had that forever. It's written on the thing, like one free push plus 2 intel. So the next mission's, now it's -1 intel because I have 1 intel left.
Well, use that. You'll probably be using that free push this next time, I would say.
Yeah, hopefully. I imagine.
Things are gonna go clean. I'm telling you.
That's.
I got my critical failure out of the way. My double one.
Mr. Double Ones.
It's green grass and blue skies from here on out.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Oh boy.
That's good. We got it. We got this.
Run
Blue
away!
grass
And green skies.
Let's see how fast you guys can dig compared to them. All right. It's gonna be interesting. So, well, my name is Lucas. This is Lucas Chief Variety. I hope you enjoyed it. It was good. It wasn't too rough getting back off the ground, and I just had to remember some of the rules. I still have to do some more research. I'm going to be forever learning this game. I feel like I don't know why. Just with the time I have to read books. Anyways, my voice is about shots, so let's just do a little round robin, do some shoutros, and then we'll be back next week on Tuesday. Actually, we'll be back on Sunday, but I'm gonna let the person talk about it. So we got a Tuesday game. They'll talk about that, and yeah, just let it circle around. So I'm just gonna pass it right down to the marshal. Oh, hey, Kendo Makes Films is now following. Thank you, Kendo, for following. I think I just met you the other day, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. And actually, I'm going to send it over to your GM right now, Mr. Dom, the marshal. And I'm gonna
Hey, how's it going? My name's Dom. There's a lot going on right now as far as Lucas and I are concerned. On Sunday, I'm actually starting a new campaign, the Song of the Bone Kings. We're trying out a brand new system. If you guys are a fan of these tabletop role-playing games, but maybe don't want to learn all of the or buy all of the books of rules, I know here in Band of Blades, we look through 150 pages or so of the rule text. I'm playing a game that's reminiscent of Dungeon World meets Blades in the Dark, called Chasing Adventures, written by a friend of mine. And we are taking that live on Sunday with, like I said, the Song of the Bone Kings. It'll be starting at 2 p.m. Central Daylight Time. That's 3 o'clock in Lucas's time out on the East Coast. But definitely stick around. That game is going to be fast. It's going to be action-packed. And we're going to push the system to its very limits and see if we can break it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys can join along for that wild ride. You can follow me at Dom's Tavern on Twitter. There you can find my Discord server as well, where I run all of my one-shots campaigns. And if you ever want to run an interesting one-shot as far as tabletop RPGs go, I specialize in fantasy kind of tropes and things like that. Definitely show up and see if you can get in. I think Saturday morning I'm actually running one called Bakto's Infernal Kitchen. It's a barbecue special, so if you like cooking, hop on over to the server. Otherwise, I'll pass it on down to Soundwave's Ghost.
Let me jump back real quick, sir. If they were to come and watch the show, where are they going to watch it at?
We're gonna watch it right here on Lucas G Variety. Lucas has been kind enough to allow me to utilize this platform and help expand it outwards.
Hopefully.
And I'm super excited. Lucas is a ton of fun to work with, and I've got 4 new characters that none of you guys has ever seen. And there are some of my favorite players I've ever played with in my 8 years plus of tabletop RPGs. So definitely check it out. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Thank you, sir.
All right, I am Soundwave's Ghost. I play here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. alternating Thursdays, but every Tuesday right now. Next Tuesday will be, I believe it's this Alien
Yeah.
RPG.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is.
Where I'm running for souls through the grindhouse that is the Destroyer of Worlds cinematic. They are scared, lost, and slowly killing themselves on purpose. It feels like at times, but it's all good fun because they're all on their own. There's no rails for that particular part of the adventure, so they get to screw themselves quite royally all on their own, and it's more fun for me than if I was controlling the action. Because all I got to do is go, "There's something over there," and they freak out. But that's the mechanics. It's a very, very, very deadly game, just like the movies. It's deadly once things start happening. And up until then, it kind of be dry at the times, but the moment stuff starts happening, everyone freaks out. And on the alternate Tuesday of that, I play the game run by Haruka Junko over there for Robotech, where I get to play Captain Colors of the SDF-1 because I replaced Captain Gullible. I get to wear my hat. I like my hat. Actually, the nicest hat I got. This one's very hot. I was going to wear it tonight, but I'm not going to. Other than that, as always, thanks, Lucas, for letting me play on your channel, and everyone else, thanks for playing with me because I had a blast tonight. And even though we were all a little rusty, that rust popped off at the right time, and we bashed and smashed as really good adventurers do. So anyway, I'll pass it over to Jeff, and I'll bid you good night.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Lucas, for running the game, and thank you guys for handling my shenanigans as fellow players. I am Jeff Beck, also known as Jeff Beck 1108. You can follow me on smool.com at Jeff Beck 1108 for any of my voice acting and singing, if that so tickles your fancy. I also am a voice actor for the upcoming web series Glacier. You can find that online. You can also find it on the trailer on YouTube. Let's see, what else is there? There is a possibility that I'm going to be running a game on this channel. It is still a bit in the works whether I am and when it's going to be. And I'm also going to be running a game for Jodo's channel, another one of Lucas's players here. Both of them involving a whole new genre, a whole new system to this channel. It is Call of Cthulhu and Pulp Cthulhu. So I'm looking forward to doing that in the future. So keep an eye out for that. And from there, I'm going to hand it over to Haruka.
1 second here. 1 second. Let me interrupt. First, we were still going to do the Call of Cthulhu. It's just I have to plan it down the road. And second, actually, Call of Cthulhu was actually the very first thing I did on Twitch streaming.
Oh,
it's just been like 4 years, so it'll be like new again.
Much like Cthulhu.
Well,
you've forgotten it over time.
For your channel, though, Lucas, I'm doing Pulp Cthulhu, so yes, it's a new system.
Oh, yeah, the madness has struck. You got me there. That's all I'm gonna say.
I guess it's my job then to do the mecha version in the future.
Yes.
Oh, Cthulhu.
That way Lucas can only has to do the 80s or 90s, 70s or whatever.
I like the 1920s.
The only thing scary.
Yeah, 1920s, early 1930s.
What, Dom?
I said the only thing scarier than Cthulhu is Mecha Cthulhu.
Sorry, we had a whole new ball of wax rolling. Mike, go for it.
Hi, I'm Haruka Junko, and I, like always, enjoy playing with you guys, even though I did show up late. That's my fault, I'm sorry. Yes, Lucas, I will give you whatever you want, like your custom Veritech that you get to have.
I'm talking about the ladies, Mike.
I was going to give him command of his own squadron.
I already have that too. I already have those things.
You remain in control. How about that? My largesse lives on through our GM.
I don't like you guys anymore.
But I GM the Robotech game here on Tuesdays, which is getting close to its finale. As next session, they're going to be taking off and possibly dropping, or possibly taking off during combat with the new enemy threat that looks like an eggplant rather than a cucumber.
It's not imagery on purpose, we swear.
No kidding.
But besides that, you can find me over at twitch.tv/RukaJunko sometimes. want to get back to streaming a little bit more often. Just nice stream random video games. But yeah, no. Besides that, I always love playing with you guys. Love, Lucas being nice enough to GM this stuff because, as always, we all know being a GM kind of sucks sometimes.
Sometimes. It's rewarding in its own way.
Oh,
we're all
it's
GMs.
rewarding in its own way. But sometimes it is definitely a lot of work, and then the players make you throw all that work out, and then you just kind of go, well, you guys are not getting a puppy for Christmas anymore.
The secret is I just don't read the rules, and I make you guys look everything up, and then I can just relax
That's
a little bit.
definitely your style, yes.
And it will be
It's not your turn, Dan. Why don't you look that up for me?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're so good at it.
Yeah, no. With that, I'm going to toss it back up to the top since, for once, I'm not actually in charge here,
I promise I'll get better at the rules someday. I just need to have more sleep, more time, and less kids to watch at that moment.
You're up to what? 1.5?
Yeah. Yep. A 2-year-old and a 4-month-old. So yeah, 2 and 3 month. 2-year-old and 3-month-old.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I understand.
But anyway,
have my own flashback pains for that boy.
But
one of mine has graduated high school now. So
it's amazing.
Yeah, I did it.
You did.
Survived to that.
Bring on that empty nest.
No, that part hasn't happened.
I know.
Still working on that part.
Well, thank you everybody for being here tonight. We will see you on Sunday, at least Dom and his crew. So come back for that. And then next Tuesday, follow us, come to the Discord, join the chat, support the channel in any way you can. We appreciate it. All it goes back to the channel. So we will see you next time. Until then, have a good night. God bless and good gaming. We'll see you guys later. Peace.